evening and welcome to the news. The Wednesday package, as usual, packs an extra punch: news angles, reviews, previews, and interviews. In the course of the bulletin, we'll be in different parts of the country to get the comments of Nigerians on issues of local and global importance. We'll also distill the perspectives of experts on key issues confronting sectors of the Nigerian economy. Tonight, yes to state police. Senate passes bill. Over now to the states.
To provide for the establishment of state police services and for related matters 6 alterations 2026. Third reading taken and passed.
Infrastructural development. Federal government inaugurates Kuje Gwagwalada dual carriageway in the FCT.
Do not vandalize the solar lights. Pay your taxes and ground rents. When government works and citizens cooperate, development moves faster.
On healthcare delivery, 350-bed Akwa Ibom Hospital unveiled.
With the ecosystem that you have pulled together, not only will you provide world-class services for your citizens or for citizens of the South, the entire country, domestic medical tourists will come.
And Africa Natural Resources Summit. Nigeria insists on value addition processes.
We have to add value. You cannot just extract the minerals and send it away. We have to bring resources so that we can develop a processing plant.
And in business and the economy, Nigeria woos more foreign investors into key sectors of the nation's economy. Benny Adams will be giving us the full gist, while Badia Deleye is on hand with the latest from the 2026 World Cup. Who is going home and who will get into the next round as the final group games begin? It's a loaded package as always. And as we say on this shift, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Yan Ray John, and this is News Extra. Welcome. We begin from the National Assembly tonight as Nigeria has taken a step forward into a new threshold of security architecture as the Senate voted yes on the bill to enable the establishment of state police. The executive bill, which seeks alteration of the Constitution, provides for dual police services at the federal and state levels in order to effectively deal with contemporary security challenges. National Assembly correspondent Lamiali reports.
The Nigeria Police Services Bill being considered in the 6th constitutional alteration is a landmark outcome of a series of stakeholder engagements aimed at decentralization of the police architecture to remove policing from the exclusive to the concurrent legislative list, providing states that so choose the enablement to establish state police services. The bill seeks to replace the current Nigeria Police Force framework with a federal police service at the national level and state police services in the states. The 26-clause legislative proposal received the needed two-thirds support in the Senate as required in all constitutional alteration.
The increasing complexity of security threats, which include terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, communal conflicts, farmer-herder clashes, cybercrime, organized criminal networks, and other transnational crimes, have placed enormous pressure on the existing policing framework. The framers of the 1999 Constitution established a single and centrally controlled police force for the Federation. While that arrangement may have served the country at a particular stage of our national existence, the realities of contemporary Nigeria have exposed significant challenges associated with a centralized policing architecture.
We have Boko Haram in the northeast, banditry in the north central, and the federal police architecture cannot effectively contain these problems that we have across the north central.
Today, we know that we have very serious insecurity problem that can only be solved by thinking outside the box.
I believe that will also be a major leap into entrenchment of federalism in Nigeria.
To provide for the establishment of state police services and for related matters 6 Alteration 2026, third reading taken and passed. That now it has entered the concurrent legislative list. This is a milestone in the evolution of our governance of the country.
It, however, requires two-thirds support at state assemblies. 24 states must concur for the bill to move to Mr. President for assent. Both the executive and legislature are hopeful that this time the state police bill will not suffer a stillbirth as experienced in previous attempts. In other matters, Senate granted passage to the Nigeria Police Trust Fund bill as it approves more funding to the Nigeria Police Force.
The Inspector General of Police be designated as a substantive member of the board to strengthen the representation of the Nigeria Police Force in the administration of the fund.
The 4 vacant seats in the Senate have now been occupied as winners emerged in the recently conducted by-election in Rivers, Nasarawa, Ondo, and Enugu states. The new senators-elect who were administered the oath of office are Olaka Anwogu, representing Rivers South-East Senatorial District, Eladi Halilu Involanza from Nasarawa North Senatorial District, Professor Adebayo Faduili, representing Ondo South, as well as Ikeji Asogwa, who now represents Enugu North. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Still on security matters, the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Northwest Zone, Mohammed Suleiman Abdul, has advocated stronger collaboration among security agencies, traditional institutions and community members to address emerging security challenges and enhance peace and stability in Sokoto State. The DIG made a call during a stakeholders meeting held as part of his operational visit to the state. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa has more.
Delivering the goodwill message of the Inspector General of Police Olatunji Relwan Disu, the DIG reaffirmed the commitment of the Nigerian police force towards safeguarding lives and property across the country. He observed that Sokoto State's strategic location along the international border presents unique security challenges and called on traditional rulers, community leaders, youth, and other stakeholders to support security agencies through vigilance and timely information sharing. The DIG also highlighted ongoing welfare initiatives aimed at improving the well-being of serving and retired police personnel.
Nigeria will see positive change in our approach to security administration, and we have analyzed the security challenges, and we are coming up with new modalities to summon the crime and make Sokoto a very peaceful place.
May this occasion mark the beginning, even greater strides for the Sokoto State Police Command and the Nigerian police at large.
Stakeholders at the meeting stressed the importance of strengthening community participation in security matters and placed sustained collaboration with security agencies to promote peace and stability across the state and Nigeria. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Let's move to the courtroom quickly as the Federal High Court in Abuja is to rule on the application moved by Omoyele Showari, seeking the court to set aside the order revoking his bail on June 30, 2026. Judiciary correspondent Austin Ayebe reports that this was after the application was argued.
The defendant Omoyele Showari was ordered to be remanded in Kuje prison following the revocation of the earlier bail granted him. At Wednesday's proceeding, Omoyele Showari moved an application praying the court to set aside the bail revocation order issued on the 16th June 2026. The defense counsel, who filed a 34-paragraph affidavit attached to the application, urged the court to set aside the order in the interest of justice. But the DSS prosecution, Akin Oluke, the senior advocate of Nigeria, opposed the application, saying the defendant has not put forward any cogent proof or reason to warrant the court granting the application and urged the court to refuse the application. Counsel to the defendant then prayed the court to release the defendant to his legal team instead of his continued stay in the correctional center. but the judge declined, saying he will give his ruling on the application on June 30, 2026. This implies that the defendant Omole Sowore will be sent back to the Kuje Correctional Center until June 30, when ruling on the application to set aside the order of bench warrant and revocation of bail application will be considered. Before the revocation bail, Justice Umar had ordered Sowore to open his defense in a matter of alleged cybercrime brought against him by the Department of State Services. Shortly after the adjournment, supporters of the defendant staged a protest resisting attempt to take Sowore to custody. This led to the closure of the entrance gate to the Federal High Court complex, but with maneuvering, the officers from the Correctional Service conveyed him back to Kuje Correctional Facility. From the Federal High Court, Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NT News.
Meanwhile, the former Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, has pleaded not guilty to the alleged financial fraud preferred against him by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. El-Rufai and his co-defendants Jemi Lawal and other corporate entities were arraigned on an amended charge of 11 counts before the Federal High Court, Kaduna Division. Suraj Abdullahi reports.
The immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, Jemi Lawal, a former special advisor to El-Rufai when he was governor, and some corporate entities were arraigned on 11 counts amended charge. While El-Rufai pleaded not guilty to count 1, his co-defendant pleaded not guilty to count 6, 7, and 8. A corporate concern, Singularity Network Security Limited, was brought before the court on counts 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, and 11. In this matter, Nasir El-Rufai, Jemi Lawal, and 5 corporate entities are the dependent counsel to El-Rufai, and the second defendant told the court of the pending bail applications. After the argument on the bail application, the presiding judge, Justice Awawu Buhari, adjourned ruling on the bail to 1st of July 2026. In another development, Nasir El-Rufai appeared before the High Court of Kaduna State for the continuation of hearing on the charge bordering on alleged abuse of office and money laundering filed by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. Justice Darius Kobo adjourned the matter till 29 June 2026. From Kaduna, Suraj Abdullahi, NTA News.
Let's leave Kaduna briefly now, as President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated the Kuje Gwagwalada dual carriageway linking communities to the nation's capital, part of the renewed hope mandate of ensuring democratic dividends. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jubrila reports that the president was represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima during the event.
On behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, it is now my singular honor and privilege, and to the glory of Almighty God, to commission phase 1 of the Kuje Gwagwalada dual carriageway for the use of the people and for the development of the Federal Capital Territory.
This is an alternative road, phase 1, 7-kilometer road from Chibiri to Kiyi village along the Kuje Gwagwalada road, awarded by the Federal Capital Territory Administration in February 2025.
It would be good to hear a live testimonies from the people that drove on the smooth, sweeter, and well-constructed dual carriageway. And may this road, when commissioned, serve as a pathway for safer journey, greater growth, economic growth, and also unity amongst our communities.
As we were coming, it took about 2 hours. I said, where are we heading to? They said, Kuje. I said, are we in America, where one state to the other will take you about 5-6 hours? This is just between the FCT, and we are taking 2 hours. Sir, it was horrible. The director of ceremony said bad. Bad is understatement. There was no road. But one good thing you find out was that you look at a place for agriculture, where people will go to farm and make produce, and then they have nowhere to carry it to the market.
The 12-kilometer project, ongoing and expected to be completed in December this year, across the Kuje-Gwagwalada axis with solar street lights, bridges, and digital infrastructure with access to agricultural activities, not only decongesting the city center, but also area councils, connecting people to basic infrastructure and extending contemporary positive development.
My people of Kuje, Gwagwalada, Kwali, all the area councils and satellite towns, hear me clearly. This government sees you. You are not forgotten. For too long, Abuja's development stopped at the city center. Under the renewed hope agenda, every area council matters. Every community counts. We will keep bringing roads, water, schools, and hospitals to you. I, however, urge the direct beneficiaries of this infrastructure to protect this road. Do not build on the median. Do not vandalize the solar lights. Pay your taxes and ground rents. When government works and citizens cooperate, development moves faster.
The federal government assured the communities of more development, calling on the beneficiaries to take ownership of the projects and support government in the economic development of the country. In Abuja, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
In other news, President Bola Tinubu has declared that Africa must end the era of exporting its mineral wealth in raw form and embrace value addition as the cornerstone of its mining and industrial development strategy. The president stated this in an address delivered on his behalf by the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, at the 5th African Natural Resources and Energy Investment Summit held in Abuja. Ekene Ndulue was there.
As the summit's theme declares, One Africa, One Resource Vision, ministers of solid minerals, investors and policy leaders from across the continent are charting a path from Africa's vast mineral potential to value-added economic opportunities. Participants say Africa is richly endowed with mineral resources and must now act as a united economic force.
Africa's mineral future cannot be pursued through fragmentation.
The future we seek requires collective action.
We have to add value. You cannot just extract the minerals and send it away. We have to bring resources so that we can develop a processing plant.
Nigeria's Minister of Solid Minerals Development is representing President Bola Tinubu at the summit. He says ongoing reforms in the mining sector, particularly policies that prioritize partnerships with investors committed to local value addition, are already yielding positive results.
Africa must no longer export the future in raw form and import poverty in finished form. We must build our own value chains and ensure that the wealth taken from African soil creates prosperity on African soil.
I therefore invite investors, development partners, manufacturers, and industry leaders to collaborate with Nigeria in building a resilient, competitive, and sustainable steel industry.
The delegates at this summit are hopeful that agreements reached here will translate into investments, employment, and thriving industries that will shape a more prosperous Africa. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Many thanks, Kene. Now, stakeholders are calling for greater investment in education, healthcare, and skills development to unlock northern Nigeria's economic potential. The call came at the Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation Summit in Abuja on human capital development in the north. Shehu Mohammed Dati reports.
Born in Araba, Sokoto province in 1910, Sir Ahmadu Bello remains one of the foremost architects of northern Nigeria's political and socio-economic development. It was against this backdrop that the Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation, in collaboration with the Northern States Governors Forum, convened a summit on human capital development aimed at addressing challenges in education, healthcare, and youth unemployment across the north. Vice President Kashim Shettima, represented at the event, spoke on the northern renewal, investing in people, securing the northern future.
We must reverse the decline, not with grand declarations, but with budgets defended and funded, teachers deployed, and clinics equipped.
Northern leaders drew a line and chose a different path, that we all resolve to invest in our young people with clarity, with courage.
Speakers at the summit said Sir Ahmadu Bello placed strong emphasis on education and human development because he believed people were the region's greatest assets.
The Almajiri system must be eradicated completely. These people must be put to good use so that they don't become a nightmare for us.
And if we hold ourselves accountable, it is possible that within the next 10 years, we will see remarkable improvements.
Participants recommended increased investment in basic education and the expansion of technical and vocational training to equip young people with employable skills. In Abuja, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
And in Kano, the police say investigations are ongoing into the death of a 13-year-old student of St. Louis Girls Secondary School following the petition from her family alleging conflicting accounts surrounding the circumstances of her death. A special investigation panel has been constituted to examine the case, with officials from the State Ministry of Justice and Women Affairs included to provide legal oversight and interagency coordination. Elizabeth Yila Lamido has the rest of the story.
13-year-old Maimuna Sani Salihu, a junior secondary school 2 student, died on June 13th after she reportedly collapsed in her school mosque quadrangle. She was rushed to the International Clinic in Kano, where she was confirmed dead. The police intervention stems from a formal petition filed by the mother of the deceased, who is questioning the circumstances leading to her daughter's death.
My younger sister was running a testimony campaign and they were sending her voice notes and recordings and screenshots. We reported to the police station. If this issue is involved between 2 students, then you should open up as a school.
While school authorities maintained that the late Maimuna collapsed when kneeling as punishment for arriving late to the mosque, the family's petition suggests an alternative narrative pointing to alleged corporal punishment by seniors.
Teachers on this compound are not allowed to punish. The rule here is that if you come in late into anything, you kneel at the door, and then you are asked the question, why are you late? She said she was reading and wasn't conscious of time. That it was while she was answering this question that she was going down bit by bit and then went on the ground. And children being who they are, they thought she was joking. And then they started saying, Mimuna, stop playing. Who is playing with you? Get up. When she didn't get up, that one of them tried lifting up her hand, and the hand went down. So they now rushed to the imam, because that was the only adult with them in the mosque.
The investigation has to do with the cause of death. So far, 3 teachers were invited. The principal of the school, 3 students that witnessed all what transpired, as well as that doctor on call that gave the report.
Kano State government says it is monitoring the situation and urges for calm. In Kano, Elizabeth Yilalamido, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called on wives of state governors to join efforts aimed at securing the country's future by fully adopting the National Community Food Bank program to promote child nutrition in their respective states. She made a call at the second quarterly meeting with Renewed Hope Initiative state coordinators in her office. State House correspondent Adeniyi Taiwo reports.
Like the others before it, the second high-level quarterly meeting of RHI state coordinators with the initiative's governing council, led by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, provides another platform for stock-taking on concluded programs and a review of ongoing interventions.
On Merck Foundation, we had...
The First Lady's briefing included RHI partnership with Merck Foundation, with updates on the expected roles of state governors' wives in harnessing opportunities for scholarship through Educating Linda program, as well as the reproduction of 140,000 copies of books provided by the foundation on girl-child education.
We want the First Ladies and RHI Coordinator to send academic results of the nominee by the end of the academic session of July 2026. If we don't let them know that these children are still in school, the funding might stop. So we want you to help us with that.
The immediate launch of the National Community Food Bank Program in Borno State for the Northeast Zone on April 27 is one of the flagship interventions of the initiative this year. To further achieve its core objective of fighting child malnutrition, the First Lady says state government, through the governor's wives, must take ownership and drive the implementation.
So I'm just flagging off in all the zones, and that's it. That's my contribution towards it. It's now left for the First Ladies now to take it upon themselves and make sure that the state have more food banks, because our children are not supposed to be going hungry, no matter what. You see a child that is malnourished in your state, you have to take them and make sure that they are properly cared for. These food banks are built next to the primary health care centers, so that the ones that need supplement can get their supplements, and the mothers, lactating mothers too, will be given food items from the food bank, and also pregnant women, because they don't want the children to be born unhealthy.
The meeting also deliberated on the unfolding RHI Green Nigeria Challenge as deadlines to submission of entries for the competitions approach. While applauding state coordinators for pushing the target of the initiative in their states, the First Lady says there is more, particularly for the youths.
Have to inform the youth. There are no jobs, have you visited any ministry? To even say, oh, what do you have for the people? Because that's what the MD is, that's what they owe the generality of the public.
In the State House, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
If you just joined us, this is News Extra on Africa's largest TV network. We'll take a break now. When we come back, more news. Many thanks for staying with us. A new chapter in financial services has opened in Delta State as Zenith Bank PLC inaugurates a new branch in Osubi, Okwe, local government area of Delta State. Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevori, who performed the inauguration, described the project as a boost to economic growth and financial inclusion in the area. Onyinye Joshua Ifeanyi tells us more.
The newly inaugurated Zenith Bank branch in Osubi is expected to deepen banking services and support business activities within the fast-growing community. The project, which is the first and only bank in the area, underscores the bank's continued expansion drive and commitment to bringing financial services closer to the people. Governor Sheriff Oborowo recommends Zenith Bank for its investment in the state, noting that such initiatives align with his administration's development agenda. He urged other corporate organizations to emulate the bank by investing in Delta State to create jobs and stimulate economic activities. The governor also reaffirmed his administration's commitment to providing an enabling environment for businesses to thrive across the states.
This is more than just a banking facility coming on stream. It is a strong vote of confidence in the future of Delta State and in the opportunities that lies before us.
The managing director of Zenith Bank, Dame Adora Umoji, says the new branch reflects the bank's dedication to customer satisfaction and service delivery. She explains that Osubi is strategically chosen due to its growing commercial potential and assures customers of efficient and innovative banking services.
At Zenith Bank, we provide world-class banking solutions to retail, corporate banks, and large corporates, as well as we use our robust IT infrastructure to bring business to your doorsteps.
The inauguration marks another milestone in Zenith Bank's expansion across Nigeria, reinforcing its position as a key player in the country's banking sector. Onyinye Joshua Ifeanyi, NTA News.
The 26th edition of Milo Basketball Championship promises to be exciting with participating schools, sponsors and organizers looking forward to the events to be held in Lagos. Samuel Johnson will tell us about it.
For 26 years now, Nestle Food, manufacturers of Milo and other products, have been sponsoring the Milo Schools Basketball Championship. 12 teams are to compete for honors in the finals scheduled to run from June 26 to July 3, 2026 at the Indoor Sports Hall of the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos. President of the Nigeria School Sports Federation, NSSF, and the CM Beverages of the Nestle Foods are excited with the collaboration, which they said is producing quality results.
For the children, is a lot of exposure. Some of them have not traveled out of their states before. And that is why we say that school sport is both sports and education. And it complements the cognitive aspect of education. So it's not just about reading and writing. It's not just about winning medals or trophies. It is about the impact, the value that is being instilled into our future leaders.
This is big. And I'm excited that we have not given up. And the fact that we have not given up for 26 years, it's big in itself. Last year, about 12,000 schools participated. This year, 13,000 schools participated. The competition is intense.
Secretary of the National Collegiate Sports Foundation and the students are looking forward to a good championship.
The standard keeps improving every year. And every student, they want to play. They want to play basketball.
I chose basketball because I believe basketball is life. Life is full of so many chances, but real expectations. So it's expressing basketball in the aspect of, we taking the shots, multiple shots, but less scoring.
I like basketball because of the contact sports and the way they play it.
Schools from Ekiti, Bayelsa, Osun, Katsina, Niger, Delta, and host Lagos are taking part in the national finals. In Lagos, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
To deepen public-private partnership for tourism growth, the chairman of the Eco-Tourism Foundation and former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, led his team on a courtesy visit to the management of Arik Air at the airline's headquarters in Abuja, Ikeja. Diana Ajale reports that the meeting explored strategic collaborations to promote Lagos as a premier tourist destination and boost domestic air connectivity to tourism sites across Nigeria.
From the National Theatre playing host to several activities to the delights of tourists, the National Museum, which could better be described as Arts and Culture Hub, the beautiful beaches to Lekki Conservation Center, which has the longest canopy walkway in Africa. No doubt, Lagos has a lot to offer to the global world when it comes to tourism. This visit, led by the chairman, Eco-Tourism Foundation and former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, accompanied by board members and tourism consultants, seeks to create a synergy between the foundation and Arik Air.
The tourism industry is responsible for between 10 and 15 million jobs. By opening up more tourism sites, by collaborating with other stakeholders to organize festivals.
Chief Commercial Officer of the airline, on behalf of the management, welcomed the initiative, describing Lagos as the natural hub for West Africa tourism. He pledged the airline support for joint campaigns and in-flight promotion of Lagos destination.
We've launched a product similar to this, but with Eco-Tourism Foundation, this is on a larger scale. And we believe with the vision and mission of this board, the Eco-Tourism Board, is going to translate into something global, showcasing the potential of our tourism destination.
The Relu of Lagos, who was part of the courtesy visit, stressed that affordable flight will boost tourism.
I hardly know any indigenous airline that has been on consistently for 20 years. We're not just trying to attract the locals, the indigenous people. We want also for tourism to bring dollars into Nigeria.
The engagement signals stronger alignment between custodians of culture and aviation stakeholders. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Let's turn our attention toward the news now, as the federal government says it will continue to provide Nigerians with access to affordable housing while creating jobs for a reasonable number of youths across the nation. The Minister of Housing, Mutaka Rabi Dharma, gave the assurance while inaugurating housing estate at Day along Zuba Expressway, Abuja. Francis Udojo has details.
On behalf of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, may Allah guide us too.
That was the inauguration of several number of 2 to 3 bedroom housing units funded by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN, through a developer.
Providing dividends of democracy is not all about making promises, but the delivery of those promises. The delivery and handing over of these housing estates to beneficiaries has no doubt contributed to their economic well-being, and as well reduced the housing deficit estimated to be about 17 to 28 million.
Like many Nigerians, Patrick Joseph lived with no hope of owning a house, but now he is a proud owner of one.
Since we came to the estate, we found peace. In fact, the payment method is they are very, very lenient with us.
Federal Mortgage Bank have done this and they have done it well.
It's a fantastic, I love it.
We also respectively encourage the federal government to continue expanding affordable housing programs.
The Minister of Housing and the Managing Director, FMBN, see the initiative as a demonstration of government's commitment to making life comfortable for Nigerians.
President Tinubu is passionate about providing houses to Nigerians, and we're going to commit ourselves to doing it. If we fail to do it, it's not President Tinubu, it is us who are responsible for doing it.
The Federal Mortgage Bank has several options, NHF regular, what we call the regular NHF mortgage loan, and of course the rent-to-own housing scheme. And for the rent-to-own is very easy. You just approach any of our branches, or you just go on our website online, and then you can choose the option for rent-to-own.
Like Patrick Joseph, government expects more Nigerians to key into every available opportunities provided to own a decent home. Francis Udojo, NT News.
Away from housing matters, let's look at the environment, as desertification, land degradation and climate change continue to threaten livelihoods across northern Nigeria. The federal government has taken a major step aimed at strengthening efforts to restore degraded land and improve environmental sustainability. The National Agency for the Great Green Wall has now relocated its operational headquarters from Abuja to Kano, a move expected to bring the agency closer to affected communities and enhance program implementation. Fatima Sanusi Karaye reports.
For years, advancing desertification has continued to reduce arable land, threaten food security, and deepen poverty across many states in northern Nigeria. In response, the federal government has relocated the operational headquarters of the National Agency for the Great Green Wall to Kano, bringing the agency closer to its project sites and communities most affected by environmental degradation.
We are here today in fulfillment of the presidential directive to relocate our offices from Abuja to Kano. This is our operational office. Now it's going to be the headquarters of the agency.
The Great Green Wall program targets 11 frontline states with interventions aimed at restoring degraded land, improving livelihoods, and strengthening resilience to climate change.
Here we just come is supposed to be the environmental laboratory where we do a lot of soil analysis. We need a physical component and the soil component, chemical and all of that, which the soil require and the trees also require before we plant.
Officials are optimistic that the relocation will enhance service delivery, improve project coordination, and accelerate efforts to combat desertification across the region. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Garai, NTA News.
And from Kano, let's take a trip to Borno, where 3 years into his second term, Governor Babagana Umara Zulum's administration has continued to invest heavily in agriculture and livestock development as part of efforts to enhance food security, create jobs, and diversify Borno State's economy. Mohammed Goni takes us through the journey in the agriculture and livestock sectors.
Between June 2025 and May 2026, the Zulum administration implemented an agricultural insurance program protecting 40,000 smallholder farmers against climate-related losses. 27,000 metric tons of fertilizer were distributed at 50% subsidized rates across the 27 local government areas, while improved seeds and agrochemicals were provided to vulnerable farmers to boost production. The administration also strengthened irrigation farming through the rehabilitation of canals, pumping stations, and other facilities in major agricultural clusters. Solar-powered boreholes, tube wells, and water pumps were provided to support year-round farming, while hundreds of tractors were refurbished to improve mechanized agriculture.
Wannan taimako da gwamnati na bada taki da injina ba karamin tallafawa zai ba. Inda kamar zaka samu kamar buhu 20 a gona, to a yanzu kana iya samun buhu 40 sakamakon bada wannan takin da aka yi. Ga kuma sabon inji. Kaga wannan dama shine matsalar mu din.
In the livestock sector, government carried out mass animal vaccination and deworming campaigns, established modern livestock breeding centers, constructed veterinary facilities, and revived the Maiduguri dairy plan with exotic cows and improved breeding programs.
The administration of His Excellency, Professor Babagana Omar Zulum, there will be a renewed focus on reviving livestock sector. The impetus behind this, being our governor is an agricultural engineer, has expertise and contributory knowledge towards livestock sector.
Officials say these investments are part of long-term strategy to transform Borno into a major producer and exporter of beef, dairy products, and agricultural commodities, thereby increasing internally generated revenue and reducing dependence on statutory allocation. The sustained investment in agriculture and livestock development are expected to strengthen food security, improve livelihoods, and accelerate economic growth across Borno State. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya has signed the 7th deal with farmers in Gombe State with the procurement of 12,000 metric tons of fertilizer for sale to the farmers at subsidized prices. Correspondent Emmanuel Akila reports.
1,000 metric tons of NPK 2010, which cost not less than 64,000 naira per bag in the market.
For the 2026 rainy season, consider getting quality to your doorstep. And we are going to sell it for half the price. That is 32,000 naira per bag.
I want to make a clarion call to our teeming farmers to take advantage of this farm implement distribution, farm input distribution and sales to boost their agricultural productivity.
The renewed commitment of Gombe State government with the procurement of this quantity of fertilizer for the 2026 cropping season, the farmers say, renews their hope in agriculture. The fertilizer is good and is being sold to us at subsidized price. We are grateful. We were discouraged about farming, but this subsidized fertilizer is an encouragement. With the sales flagged off, the distribution committee is expected to deliver the fertilizer to the farmers at the ward level. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Let's look away from agriculture quickly. Are you satisfied with how social media is contributing to building the society around you? Keep that question in mind as we take a look at social media, celebrated as a tool for connectivity and economic opportunity, but is now under scrutiny due to the spread of misinformation, fake news, and hate speech. False security alerts and coordinated online attacks are other rising fresh concerns as observers warn that these digital trends are deepening divisions and threatening national unity. In this report, Chimdima Undubisi examines the trend.
The digital age has redefined communication, an era where citizen journalism is at its peak, turning millions into instant publishers in a fast-moving information economy. But for Ike, this speed is proving to be a double-edged sword. In the race to post content, go viral, and get monetized, accuracy and facts are often sacrificed. Recent reports rank misinformation among the top digital risks in Nigeria.
I see a lot of false information, unverified information that flood the social media, even to the extent that we see that somebody is dead, query is alive.
I notice hate speech, religious disharmony.
They are not good for the national unity. They can cause chaos.
Information that don't need to be shared to the public. Some people could not be mature to manage that information. Those information can also provoke more situations and then put the environment more panic, put the nation into panic situation.
More devastating is the fact that 68 million people are estimated to be affected by online harms, including cyberbullying. The younger ones are not spared. To protect children from online harms, countries such as Australia and Malaysia have mandated major platforms to block under-16s from social media accounts through age verification systems. Nigeria's Cybercrimes Act and regulations for online platforms exist to protect all cyber users. They prescribe fines and jail terms for online abuse.
It was something that we sat and agreed with the social media platforms that in order for us to have healthy platforms in Nigeria, we need to have ground rules on how to deal with issues that affect misinformation, disinformation, hate speech. We are working on another different legal framework which will target algorithms that will be able to identify some of those content, flag them for human review before they actually go public.
National Orientation Agency should educate the public about what is happening around so that people will not start looking at maybe one blogger that be giving unfounded story.
Reports show a growing number of victims are seeking redress in courts over cyberbullying.
So before you click that button, first verify the authenticity of that information to ensure you're not striking that match that will spark a nationwide fire. In Abuja, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
Many thanks, Chimdima, for the heads up. Brilliant. Now, the Nigerian Television Authority and the National Sports Commission are reinforcing their commitment to world-class sports broadcasting through strategic investments in infrastructure and technology. This was evident as a delegation from global electronics company Thomson joined NSC Hierarchy on an inspection of the newly renovated International Broadcast Center at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. Badi Adeleye reports that the transformation has drawn commendation from stakeholders driving Nigeria's sports digitization agenda.
The delegation from global electronics company Thomson, led by CEO Stefan Bollon, joined National Sports Commission Chairman Shehu Diko on an inspection of the International Broadcast Center at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, home of NTA Sports 24. The team received by General Manager NTA Sports Kayode Adeniyi was impressed by the transformation of the facility since their last visit, following renovation works carried out by the Director General of the NTA. The upgrades include modern lighting and cooling systems, bringing the center closer to international standards. Thomson CEO Stefan Bollon praised the commitment of the government, the National Sports Commission, and the Nigerian Television Authority towards the project.
Yeah, I mean, we are happy to see that some work has been done since the last visit we made last year. And of course, we are working with the government now to upgrade, and expand also the facilities for broadcasts in Nigeria.
NSA Chairman Shehu Diko also commended the NTA Director General for the quick turnaround, saying the goal remains to fully equip the facility with modern broadcast technology.
We are here now to see if we can fix the IBC here, International Broadcast Center, and bring in more equipment. Our sports will benefit more, our broadcast sector in Nigeria will benefit more. So we are all working together, and that's why we're here. And it's glad to have the CEO of Thomson from Paris. They are the original manufacturers that brought this equipment to Nigeria.
As Nigeria seeks to improve live sports coverage, the International Broadcast Center is expected to become a major hub for sports content production, with the NTA positioned to play a leading role in delivering world-class broadcast services. In Abuja, Badi Adeleye, NTA News.
And TA is indeed ahead. We have more sports news much later. Right now, President Bola Tinubu heartily congratulates Dr. Nicholas Felix, former presidential aspirant and renowned youth activist, on his 45th birthday on June 24th, 2026. Felix was the presidential candidate of the People's Coalition Party in the 2019 election, where he came third in the polls. He was also the youngest aspirant in the All Progressives Congress presidential primary election, which produced President Bola Tinubu as the candidate. President Tinubu commends Felix for his commitment to democracy and his relentless efforts to advocate youth inclusion and empowerment in the country. The president also notes Felix's efforts as Deputy National Youth Coordinator of the APC Presidential Campaign Council and the run-up to the 2023 presidential election. President Tinubu wishes him many more years and a continued life of impact. Another break beckons. Thank you for remaining with us. Let's talk health now, as the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, says the unveiling and groundbreaking of the 350-bed Ibom International Hospital and Ibom Medical City project marks a major milestone in Nigeria's drive to strengthen healthcare delivery and position the country as a regional medical hub. At the official unveiling ceremony in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, Professor Pate commended Governor Umar Eno for his clear vision, commitment and investment in the health sector, describing the project as a transformational initiative that aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
Provide world-class services for your citizens or for citizens of the South-South. The entire country, domestic medical tourists will come. Regional medical tourists will come. And don't be surprised if people from Europe and other places also come to get quality medical care in Akwa Ibom.
The Ibom International Hospital is designed and conceptualized to help reverse medical tourism by delivering world-class healthcare services across critical specialties.
Professor Pate also highlighted key achievements recorded under President Tinubu's administration, including a 17% reduction in maternal mortality, a 10% decline in newborn mortality, the enrollment of more than 6 million Nigerians into health insurance schemes, the revitalization of over 3,000 primary healthcare centers, and the disbursement of more than 70 billion naira through the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. He expressed confidence that the project would attract medical professionals, investors, and patients from across Nigeria and beyond, while boosting medical tourism, creating jobs, and contributing to economic growth in Akwa Ibom State and the country at large. Meanwhile, Nigeria is stepping up efforts to position itself in the global clean energy race, with the Energy Commission of Nigeria taking the lead in driving conversations around the country's low-carbon hydrogen future. Joshua Ojito reports that the federal government, in partnership with the European Union, is already aligning its institutions and private sector players on its hydrogen economy pathway.
Nigeria is a gas-endowed nation with an estimated 215 trillion cubic feet of reserves and a growing climate commitment which position it for the hydrogen revolution as well as shape the nation's energy future. This workshop therefore seeks to drive conversation on how Nigeria can harness its vast natural gas reserves and abundant renewable energy resources to build a low-carbon hydrogen economy. Although there are successes with the adoption and deployment of solar mini-grid in a bid to reduce emission and achieve net zero. However, a lot needs to be done to key into low-carbon hydrogen economy, hence this workshop to sensitize stakeholders.
This government commits to ensuring that the regulatory clarity our agencies are required to act is not the obstacle that keeps Nigeria's hydrogen ambition on paper. Where coordination is needed between our regulators, this government will provide.
The Director General of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, Dr. Mustafa Abdullahi, says work has reached an advanced stage on national hydrogen policy as the Commission continues to drive pilot projects and partnerships on clean energy transition.
Energy mix is very, very critical. We cannot keep relying alone on hydro or on our gas. So what we're trying to do is to create another opportunity, create another economy to utilize that gas, which is why we're here to develop like a regulation, not a regulation per se, but like a plan in how we can enhance it or how we can produce hydrogen from our natural gas. That's the blue hydrogen or the grey hydrogen.
Issues that include hydrogen production technology, infrastructure, financing, governance and regional collaboration shaped conversations at the workshop. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
It's now time to talk business, and Benny is here for that. Benny.
Thank you. Now, respect for the Naira begins with everyday actions. To instill that culture among young Nigerians, the Central Bank of Nigeria has launched the Naira Ambassadors Club, a platform designed to promote responsible handling of the nation's currency. Musa Abubakar has details of that.
To handle it with care and respect.
From classrooms to national course, 175 students across 7 schools in Abuja have been entrusted with a symbolic but powerful mission, protecting the integrity of Nigeria's currency as pioneer members of the Naira Ambassadors Club. The Grand Patron, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Kadoso, described the Naira as more than legal tender, but a symbol of sovereignty, trust, and national identity that reflects the strength of the nation.
Our young Naira ambassadors, you are expected to become advocates. Don't keep quiet. Don't keep quiet. When you see people are not handling notes properly, even in your own homes, call it out. Don't think your voice won't matter. It will.
We envision the Naira Ambassadors Club growing into a vibrant platform that inspires civic responsibility, financial literacy, and patriotism among students across the country.
Governor even directed that this should be done throughout the country.
Through these young ambassadors, the CBN is driving a ripple effect. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar.
Moving on, the leadership of project management under the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment say the era of failed projects has come to an end as stakeholders back enforcement and compliance of existing laws.
Made it clear you cannot hire anyone in the public or the private sector to lead or deliver any new initiative, i.e. projects, in Nigeria if they are not licensed. There's a 2 years jail term sentence stipulated in the Act for anyone delivering projects in Nigeria without a license. And not only will those individuals be held accountable, but the organization that employed them, whoever is heading the organization or whoever has made that decision to hire those people would also be liable.
When you are competent, there is efficiency, and the reward of efficiency is just the best.
Looking at the markets, the Nigerian stock market hit a rough patch today after a busy start to the week. Investors pulled back their spending significantly, leading to a down day at the market. By the closing of the bell, investors traded about 488 million shares worth 20.9 billion naira across 64,161 individual transactions. Because of the heavy sell-offs, the total value of the companies listed on the exchange dropped to 150.9 trillion, which is equivalent to 110 billion US dollars, wiping away a noticeable chunk of market wealth compared to yesterday's transaction. Now, market is showing heavyweights like Dangote and Boa Cement as well as Geregu Power dropping and pulling the whole market down with them. This suggests that investors might be worried about the rising cost of manufacturing, energy production, and infrastructure development at the moment. But sectors like logistics, aviation, support, as well as consumer services are still finding ways to grow, driven by essential local demand. That's it on business for the midweek.
Many thanks, Benny, for the update. Let me also inform you that the Cross River Calabar Free Trade Zone, Akwa Ibom Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service, has announced interception of prohibited imported goods. The area commander Momodu Dauda, at a news conference in Calabar, disclosed that the command's vigilant patrol team intercepted a 220-foot containers along the Odukpani-Calabar highway containing 1,996 kegs of foreign refined vegetable oil. It also seized 1,500 imported used tires and 105 jumbo-sized rolls of second-hand clothing. Other seizures include 800 liters of premium military spirit, bringing the command's total PMS seizures for 2026 to 5,760 liters. The commander says the total duty paid value of the seized items is at 273.68 million naira.
Intelligence-led operations and professionalism across all commands of the service. Members of the public are encouraged to support the service by providing timely and credible information that will assist us in protecting Nigeria's economy and promoting lawful trade.
He unequivocally disclosed that all contrabands have been disposed of in accordance with safety regulations. And operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have struck another decisive blow against transnational drug syndicates with the discovery and dismantling of a multi-billion-naira industrial-scale clandestine methamphetamine laboratory operated by a Nigerian Mexican cartel in a forest in Oyo State. Salwal Khalil Ibrahim brings details of what has been described as a sophisticated and tactical operation.
This is not a rudimentary setup. It is a sophisticated, highly organized transnational syndicate operating a clandestine methamphetamine laboratory deep within the forest of Tapa Village, Iparapa North Local Government Area of Oyo State. The lab is capable of producing multi-million naira worth of illicit substances, enough to flood our streets, communities, and international markets. However, operatives successfully recovered large quantities of precursor chemicals and industrial processing equipment, and arrested 5 key members of the cartel on site. Those arrested include a 56-year-old Mexican methamphetamine expert and 4 Nigerian collaborators.
They thought hiding in dense forests would shield them from the long arm of the law. They were indeed very wrong. Samples of the finished crystals recovered yielded a definitive positive result for methamphetamine. Every single gram of this exhibit has been safely evacuated, documented, and preserved for comprehensive and strict evidential presentation in court.
The latest discovery, alongside the Ogun State lab uncovered about 4 weeks ago, reveals a desperate attempt by drug barons to establish a synthetic drug manufacturing hub in the southwest. But the NDLEA says Nigeria is no longer a safe haven for illicit drug business. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
And the break beckons. Please remain with us. Thank you for remaining with us. Widows of police officers who died in the line of duty have been honored for their resilience and commitment in carrying out the dreams of their departed spouses. Francis Form reports that the Police Officers' Wives Association, POA, carried out the exercise as part of activities marking the 2026 International Widows' Day.
It is with God that it is possible, because there are a lot of challenges. You know, now when a husband died, the foundation is out.
Wife of late SCP Matthew Okafor, Antonia Okafor, shares her experience of widowhood. Here, widows of officers who paid the supreme price in service to the nation gathered to mark International Widows' Day. POA President Mutiat Olufumilola Disu said the sacrifices of fallen officers must be matched with justice, dignity, and economic empowerment for their families.
We also recognize their grief is not only financial, it is emotional. That is why POA is taking steps to establish a sustainable mental health and psychological support, to provide counseling, encouragement, and a safe support network for widows navigating loss and rebuilding their lives.
Skills starting businesses and forming cooperatives. Bearing in mind that an empowered widow can be the next mother of a commissioner of police. Hold your head high. Your husband was a hero, and you are his legacy.
A drama presentation titled, "What Will You Be Remembered For?" encouraged widows to invest in their children's future and pursue sustainable livelihoods. Mental health experts also offered guidance on grief management and emotional healing. The event ended with a renewed commitment by POA to support and empower police widows while preserving the legacy of fallen heroes. Francis from NTA News.
Elsewhere, Kwara State Governor and Nigeria Governors Forum Chairman Abdulrahman Abdulrazak has been elected as the President of the Forum of African Regions. Governor Abdulrazak was elected alongside 4 regional vice presidents for Central Africa, North Africa, East Africa, and Southern Africa. The mandate of the Forum of Governors Regions and States of Africa is to accelerate socio-economic development, deepen decentralization and devolution, and other position subnational governments as key drivers of continental integration and sustainable development. The election was held on Monday in Morocco on the sidelines of the United Cities and Local Government World Congress. The body said it is poised for renewed governance to amplify the voice of African regions and strengthen decentralized cooperation across the continent. Meanwhile, Governor Abdulrazak has called for improved synergies among African nations, including subnational governments, to deepen development and sustainable growth. All right, let's look elsewhere. As the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has announced the successful conclusion of the return airlift of Nigerian pilgrims from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia following the completion of the 2026 Hajj exercise. Tokbe Alabi reports.
National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, on Tuesday announced that the final flight conveying pilgrims from Zamfara State, which arrived in Nigeria June 23, brought the return phase of the 2026 Hajj operations to close in a major national exercise that saw the successful transportation of Nigerian pilgrims to and from the Holy Land. Max Air Flight VM2014 Tuesday afternoon departed Jeddah to Gusau with 149 Zamfara pilgrims and 28 officials, bringing total airlifts to 38,052 with 97 total flights. The Commission, however, revealed that 12 Nigerian pilgrims are currently receiving treatment in various hospitals across Saudi Arabia for different health conditions, and it is closely monitoring their situations with necessary arrangements in place to facilitate their safe return to Nigeria once they are discharged. NACON Chairman Ambassador Ismail Abba Yusuf expressed gratitude to Almighty Allah for the overall success of the 2026 Hajj exercise, as he acknowledged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima for their unwavering support, which he said played a significant role in the successful conduct of the pilgrimage operation. The Commission further appreciated the contributions of state pilgrims welfare boards, licensed tour operators, service providers, aviation partners, medical teams, security personnel, media organizations, and the entire 2026 Nigerian pilgrims for their cooperation throughout the exercise. The Commission says it remains committed to evaluating the exercise and build on experiences gained to further enhance future Hajj operations. Tokbe Alabi, NTA News.
Let's pause briefly. When we return, sports news.
Let's talk sports now. Straight from the 2026 FIFA World Cup, as Switzerland recorded a 2-1 win over co-host Canada in their final Group B encounter, earlier this evening to finish as group winners ahead of the Canadians. Bosnia and Herzegovina beat Qatar 3-1 to finish third on 4 points and stand a chance of qualifying for the second round. Meanwhile, later this evening, Morocco will be targeting the top spot in Group C, where they face Haiti, while Scotland and Brazil face off. For South Africa, they will be hoping to snatch a late qualification to the next round when they face South Korea in a match that will be live on NTA, while co-host Mexico clash with Czech Republic. Back home, let's let you know that the Kano edition of the renewed Hope International Horse Racing Derby has begun, drawing competitors from within and outside Nigeria. The three-day event features a starting gate for the first time in Kano, marking a step towards international racing standards, with participants competing for various trophies and cash prizes in different categories. And that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Nyeri.
Thank you, Buddy, for sports news. And that's our package on News Extra tonight. Many thanks for investing your time with us from the entire production crew. Do have a good night.